Regarding the question of why governments should open their data to the public and what the incentive would be to do so, I think there's nothing more fundamental than the incentive of developing a democracy, a republic, to its highest, most sophisticated level. And the very idea of a democracy is founded on the concept of a government acting in behalf of the people electing public officials as their representatives and purportedly acting in their interest and for their welfare. And by that very definition, by that very idea of a democracy, of a republic, then there is no reason to withhold information within the workings of that government from the people. Of course, by constitutional provisions, there are limitations to the right of information given to certain sectors, for example, in the interest of national security and things of that nature. But again, the purpose of a democratic, republican government is that the government acts in the interest of the people. One very valuable incentive is that participation by the people in self-government always improves the level of government, the quality of government. There's a specific relevance of this question to the Philippines in particular because it comes from a history of, shall we say, repressive administrations. Administrations where information was not only hard to come by, it was intentionally withheld. And that is something that people value very much today. The quality of government, I think, will be served by making more and more people aware of, for example, the results of its operations, the results of its programs and projects, how effective they are and how efficiently they have been handled. And if the constituents know and are able to feed back their sentiments, their comments, their honest feedback into the process, then that can only serve to improve that process. So such processes as planning and budgeting, both at the national government level and also at the local government level, can only be improved by feedback, honest and valid feedback from the constituents, and that feedback can only be made clearly and completely if information is given to them comprehensively and on a timely basis. Now, in support of that idea of a fully democratic government being fully open in terms of sharing information with its constituents, with the public, I see definitely an effort on the part of the Philippine government at both national and local levels, a definite effort to be more open, more transparent, more accountable. Of course, transparency and accountability are bywords in local governance now, but the fact that they are bywords doesn't necessarily mean that they have been fully absorbed in the quality of governance. But still, the effort is definitely there. I think it's admirable that the national government is now implementing the full disclosure policy with, of course, under the leadership of the Department of the Interior and Local Government. And for my part, as is relevant to me, the provincial government of Bohol has substantially absorbed that policy by disclosing more of its data than is even required by the policy. The provincial government of Bohol is contributing to this nationwide effort to be more open in terms of information. I would say even that there is not just substantial absorption of the rationale of that policy, but substantial implementation of that policy by letting its constituents have access to various types of information and even giving more than is normally required by the full disclosure policy. And that's something that I think reflects a sincerity on the part of the Philippine government to be more transparent, to be more accountable. And if that trend continues on towards the next administration, then I think that can only spell good things for not just the Philippine government, but the country as a whole. I would think that the upward trajectory in terms of trust as a result of full disclosure is going to continue. I certainly hope so, and that can only be made or sustained by becoming even more open with information. Overall, the only future worth working towards is a future where government is fully open about its data, about its operations, about its policies, the results of its programs and projects. But I think the only thing that is worth doing on the part of government and on the part of stakeholders is to work towards that situation, that state of government where data is openly shared between the public and the government. All interests work together towards achieving the ideal democratic state.